Now, opening the show with crimes happening in UP. Now, as the pandemic is going, the rise in crimes in Uttar Pradesh doesn't seem to end or decrease. The first story comes from Mirzapur, where few miscreants opened fire on 3 persons. Now, this happened near Sahab Ram Gola Babaji Mutt. Few miscreants opened fire on 3 who were in the market to buy clothes. Bullet hit 2 of these 3. And 1 man lost his life as well. Man who succumbed to bullet injuries, Jivendu Rath, worked as a technical director in a private company.
ये शाम को लगभग 7:30 की घटना है। जो मृतक हैं ये अपने 2 साथियों के साथ में यहाँ चुनार में आए हुए थे। इन्होंने गाड़ी को एक सुनसान जगह है, अंधेरा रहता है, वहाँ उन्होंने गाड़ी पार्क की हुई थी। छोटा मोटा जो अपना इनका जो दैनिक इस्तेमाल का सामान है वो उन्होंने परचेज किया, लाके अपनी गाड़ी में आए, गाड़ी में सामान रख दिया और पुनः वहाँ से लगभग 100 मीटर की दूरी पे एक टेलर को उन्होंने अपना पैंट ठीक करने दिया हुआ था, उसको लेने गए थे। लौट के आ रहे थे, पुनः गाड़ी के पास लौट के आ गए थे, तभी इनके ऊपर फायरिंग हुई, इसमें इनकी मृत्यु हो गई है। छानबीन पूरी की जा रही है। मेरे साहब काफ़ी लोगों से हमने बातचीत भी की है। अभी तक कोई ऐसा इशू निकल के नहीं आया है जो कहा जाए कि जो फैक्ट्री से संबंधित कोई ऐसा मामला हो जिसमें हत्या इनकी हुई है।
And our focus is on rise in crimes in Uttar Pradesh. And another story comes from Prayagraj, where a joint team of police and drug inspectors arrested Anupam Goswami for having illegal drugs worth ₹500,000. He was a wanted criminal. Illicit drugs worth more than 1.5 crore rupees were also found in separate warehouses. Listen in to drug inspector talking about the case.
ऐसा पिछले दिन अकबर गेस्ट हाउस के पास कुछ नशीली दवाई ले जा रहा था एक व्यक्ति। उसमें 6.5 लाख रुपए की नशीली दवाई ऑनरेक्स थी, वो पकड़ी गई थी। तो उसी के बेस पे एक ललिता देवी मंदिर के पास मीरापुर में एक गोदाम पकड़ा गया था। उसमें भी कुछ प्रिंटेड कार्टन और नकली दवाइयाँ पकड़ी गई थी। तो उसी में हमें एक अभियुक्त था अनुपम गोस्वामी वांछित था, जिसमें आज सूचना मिली थी कि वो बोधी होटल पायल सिनेमा के सामने बाई के बाग में ठहरा हुआ है और वो नशीली दवाई भी ले जा रहा है। तो उसके आधार पर हमने वहां पर छापेमारी कार्रवाई की गई। तो उसमें उस अनुपम गोस्वामी नहीं मिले, लेकिन उनका छोटा भाई, जिसने छोटा भाई बताया अनुरागपुरी बताया, वो मिले और नशीली दवाई भी बरामद हुई लगभग 50,000 की। उसकी निशानदेही पर ही बरगद के पास मीरापुर में 4 गोदामों पर भी छापा मारा गया और वहां भी भारी मात्रा में नशीली दवाएं प्लस सभी तरह की दवाएं भंडारित पाई गई, जो कि अवैध रूप से भंडारित है। उन सभी को सीज किया जा रहा है और नियमानुसार नमूने लिए जा रहे हैं तथा आगे की कार्रवाई भी की जा रही है।
A criminal in UP, Sambal, surrendered in a very interesting way. He walked down to the police station wearing a placard reading, "I am an accused, do not shoot me." Now, incident comes from Nakhasa police station of Sambal. He pleaded the cops to not kill him. There was a price of 15,000 rupees on him. He's been arrested and further proceedings are underway.
माफी थाना असमौली क्षेत्र का रहने वाला था। इस पे 15,000 रुपए का पुरस्कार था। पुरस्कार घोषित अपराधी था और पुलिस लगातार इसकी तलाश कर रही थी। आज थाने में तख्ती टांग कर ही आया और अपने आप को पुलिस के सामने इसने आत्मसमर्पण किया है। इसे नियमानुसार हिरासत पुलिस में लेकर विधिक कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
सर, कितने रुपए का इनाम था
इस पे 15,000 रुपए का इनाम।
Top crime stories coming from Uttar Pradesh, and now we have some guests joining us in to discuss the matter of rising crimes in Uttar Pradesh. We have Shantanu Gupta, who is political analyst and author, and we also have a former DGP Uttar Pradesh, Vikram Singh. I would like to start with Shantanu. Shantanu is a political analyst and author, and he has his leanings toward the party in power in Uttar Pradesh, BJP. He's also written biography on Uttar Pradesh's CM, and it's titled "The Monk Who Became Chief Minister." He's born in UP. Shantanu, I want to start with you. You see these crime stories coming from Uttar Pradesh, and there has been a counter to it, that there has been a perception created by people where there's one crime story that comes from Uttar Pradesh, and the entire state is held responsible for it, and a rise in crime is also talked about. Your initial comments.
No, in fact, I'll say the other way around. Both stories that you talked about, the counterfeit notes, the counterfeit drugs and the surrender, both goes in the favor of the police, right? That counterfeit drugs are being caught in Uttar Pradesh. Now gangsters are surrendering in Uttar Pradesh, not running amok as they were pre-2017. In the morning debate, in fact, with Vikram Singh ji on another channel, I was talking about that how in Uttar Pradesh, after 2017, finally there is law and order. That's why investment is coming. I was giving an example of Paytm, the company which is in Noida, which was not delivering in Noida and Uttar Pradesh because law and order condition was very bad. And finally, 5 lakh crore investment is coming in UP because now the money is safe. In fact, the first agenda of Yogi Adityanath government, when I was writing his book, as you rightly told, the monk who became chief minister, he said, the state I got is in a very lecher condition. The law and order has failed. Money is not coming in. Industry is not coming in. My first priority is law and order. And you know, there were 3 lakh vacancies. Only 1.5 lakh police vacancies were filled in the last 15 years of Akhilesh and Mayawati rule. Today, as we are talking, 1,30,000.
But Shantanu, there is also NCRB data that says the opposite, especially if we talk about crimes against women. UP has always been on the top.
No. Arun, I think your research team is not reading the data properly. If you do per capita, so UP is a large state. It's 22 crore people. If you see absolute number, the crime data will look up. But if you see per capita, if you divide by the population, the numbers are decreasing. And finally, there is one more thing. Finally, the FIR is being written. Finally, the complaint is being written. Finally, the police is acting. So there is a crime for sure. That's the UP Yogi Adityanath has inherited in last 20 years that we have seen in UP, that Atiq Ahmeds and Shahabuddins in Bihar and Raja Bhaiya, they all were ministers. Raja Bhaiya was a minister. Gayatri Prajapati was a minister. Finally, all of them in jail through encounters and through dabish and through very strict police action. Finally, law and order is being maintained. Because I lived and born and brought up in Uttar Pradesh. I know the story of Uttar Pradesh. I've roamed around in many districts of Uttar Pradesh. Now,
and the data that we're talking about comes from 2018, which is the latest we have from NCRB. But I also was talking about how these regular stories emerge every single day from Uttar Pradesh. I'll also like to go to Vikram Singh. Sir, do you also see that there is a caste-driven crime also, which comes out specifically from rural areas of Uttar Pradesh?
Absolutely, Arun. UP and caste are two sides of the same coin. It is difficult to distinguish one from the other. You scrape the top of the onion and you have caste, then you scrape it further, you have crime, and you scrape it still further, you have politics. Therefore, it is difficult to distinguish one from the other. Now, having said that, UP, for the first time, I have seen that there is no nexus at the topmost level between the underworld, the mafia, the crime syndicates, and the top political leadership, that is Yogi Adityanath. But I had expected a lot more from the police leadership and the police officers, especially in the IPS leadership. They should have given a better account. I would not like to believe what I'm told about Mahoba and Allahabad, but that is the ground reality of these two. And IPS are supposed to be frugal and upright.
Sir,
and if they are not, they should have been thrown out of job.
Also, there's one popular counter that it's a big state, the population is huge, and that is exactly what Shantanu also mentioned. How would you respond to that?
Arun, there is no denying the fact that our crime in Uttar Pradesh exceeds the total crime of 5 states, Northern Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, Kashmir, and Madhya Pradesh. But we also have the largest police force in the world, the largest infrastructure in the world also. We have the number of police stations and officers of the IPS cadre we have is also the largest. But as Shantanu said, analysis of crime data per capita, you will get the real-time figures that UP is certainly not in the top 10. As far as increase in crime is concerned.
And also, Arunji, if I can make a very small remark, I think because all the channels are in Noida and Delhi, because all the channels are in Noida and UP and Delhi, there is doorstep reporting happening. I see a lot of cases in Kerala. I'll tell you, a week back, a Communist Party member, a woman, hung herself inside the party office. Can you imagine if that would have happened in UP? In a BJP office might be, God forbid. It would have been a big news for all of you. Rajasthan, there is in Durgapur, riots are happening from last week. There is no news. So there is doorstep reporting. All of you are in Noida and Delhi, and UP is the first one that comes to. So a crime in UP, a similar crime in Rajasthan, will have a very less reporting.
But Shantanu, here we're talking about two things. One is frequency of crimes, and second is also the intensity. How, for example, we mentioned one story today only where open firing happened and one man lost his life. Now, incidents like these appear on everyday basis from the state.
No, as I told you, Yogi Adityanath inherited a lecher system where law and order wasn't weak. It was in the hands of politicians. In fact, a lot of Gunda elements were in politics. As I told you, Atiq Ahmed, Mukhtar Ansari, and now their properties are being seized. Vikas Dubes were flourishing, and finally they're in hell after the Yogi government is there. I'm saying the best way, Arun, if you want to follow law and order, follow the money. If money is coming back to the state, if industrialists are coming back to the state, they will never come in a state where law and order is not maintained. Finally, industrialists are saying, my money is safe in UP, that's why I'm coming back to UP. That's why 5 lakh crore rupees investment is coming back in UP.
Okay, interesting closing remarks from Shantanu. Thanks both the gentlemen for joining us for this discussion.